Built in 1880 as part of the Limerick to Tralee Railway, the Barna Tunnel cuts through the Barna Hills at the highest point on the route. This 100-metre stone-lined tunnel, once echoed with steam engines, is now a dramatic highlight along the Limerick Greenway walking and cycling trail. The Barna Tunnel was an impressive Victorian engineering project carved through solid rock to overcome a steep railway gradient. It served passengers and good trains until the line closed in 1970s. After decades of disuse, the tunnel was carefully restored and reopened to the public in 2019. Some key facts on the Barna Tunnel. Built in 1880, its approximate length is 100 metres. Its elevation, one of the highest points on any Irish railway line. Its construction consists of stone portals, brick-lined arch, hand excavated using dynamite, now part of the Limerick Greenway Trail, and it features motion sensor lighting, providing a safe pathway for walkers and cyclists. The Limerick Greenway in Limerick is a 42-kilometre off-road walking and cycling route along the old railway line that connects the three lovely market towns of Rathkeale, Newcastle West and Abbeyfeale in West Limerick. The Limerick Greenway provides a journey through the wonderful built and natural heritage of countryside and villages along the route. Along the journey you will encounter Norman castles, abbeys, medieval ruins, workhouses, famine graveyards, deserted railway stations, a viaduct and breathtaking scenery. The Limerick Greenway Trail was developed along a stretch of the 85-kilometre Limerick to Tralee railway line, which operated for nearly 100 years, opening in the late 1800s and closing in the 1970s. The route, which is also known as the North Kerry line, also had branch lines to Foynes in County Limerick and Feenet in County Kerry. By 1925, the line was owned by the Limerick Greenway, which operated all of the railways in the Irish Free State until 1945. After World War II, the GSR was dissolved and the railways came into the ownership of Chorus Umper Éireann, CIE. The line stayed in the ownership of CIE until the line was closed to passengers in 1963 and freight in the late 1970s. Well, good afternoon, folks. And what a splendid, beautiful, bright and sunny, mild afternoon it is. Having completed my 9 kilometres this morning on foot, wearing down the shoe leather, I'm here now on a very, very long greenway and cycling through some beautiful countryside in gorgeous sunlight. It's a great day to be out in the great outdoors. On foot earlier, now on 2 wheels. Now we have done this greenway before. It's the Limerick to Kerry Greenway on the track bed of the old railway. So we're going to cycle, having begun our crusade in Rathkeale. We're going to cycle all the ways across the borders of Cork Kerry into Listowel, John B. Keane country. So hopefully all will be well on our travels. We just pulled in back there and had a picnic. So we're fueled up for the journey for the afternoon. It's still quite early. It's about 12:30 p.m. and we intend to have about 4, perhaps 5 hours of cycling to do. But it's a gorgeous day to be out and about, and looking at this splendid Limerick countryside in gorgeous sunshine. The birds are singing, the bikes are humming, and the riders are in good form. So all the ingredients of having a splendid afternoon with my good wife. So I'll chat again to you later. Beginning our journey today on the Limerick to Kerry Greenway, there are 5 distinct sections of the Limerick Greenway. All sections are waymarked using the Greenway symbol and a white directional travel arrow, and suitable for people with modern levels of fitness. Today we begin our journey at Rathkeale in County Limerick. From Rathkeale to Ardagh, which is around 9 kilometres, this is a level section which begins at the Irish Palatine Museum and crosses the River Deal. 5 beautiful cut-stone overhead bridges are passed along the way. From Ardagh to Newcastle, which is around 5 kilometres, this section is level at each end with a dip in the middle in the form of a 1% gradient. The trail passes through pleasant farmland with views of the surrounding hills. You will cross the River Dar as you approach Newcastle West, and then cross the R521, bringing you into Newcastle West Station. From Newcastle West to Barna is about 10 kilometres. Gently uphill all the way, this section represented one of the most arduous challenges in the age of the steam train. The Greenway climbs into Rooska Hills, leading to boglands and providing wonderful views of the Limerick Plains and the Golden Vale. The route traverses Ferguson's Viaduct before becoming a dedicated Tarmacadam cycleway with excellent views, which then rejoins the railway at Barna Station. The trains entered Barna Station through a tunnel, which can be visited along a standalone 1 kilometre section of the old railway, and I've taken you through that there at the start of this video. Barna to Temple Glantine village is around 4 kilometres. The N21 roadside cycleway continues into a short section of a cul-de-sac before the site of the old telegraph poles indicate that the railway has been joined here. Temple Glantine village to Abbeyfeale and onto the Kerry border. 9 kilometres to Abbeyfeale and 3 kilometres to the Kerry border. Opposite the church, the L21006 leads to the Greenway, where a left turn is taken for Abbeyfeale. After 2 kilometres, Tullig Wood is entered, and its tranquil atmosphere is in sharp contrast to the noisy N21, located just a couple of fields away. Now, we're traversing the countryside here at 31.2 kilometers an hour, which is a civilized pace on these bikes. As I said to you before, depending on rider ability and technical choosing of the different controls. I'm presently on pedal assist 1, which is past 1. Were I to go up to 3, 4, 5, well, I'd be traveling a lot faster than 31 kilometers an hour. But this is a nice pace to view the countryside, keep in touch with my good wife as we travel together. We're not doing the Tour de France, and I think I might be gone beyond that stage. But 30 kilometers, 35 kilometers is a nice pace to view the Emerald Isle on 2 wheels. Quite a lot of facilities on this Greenway, plenty places to have picnics and lunch and so forth. So we're arriving here, the sign says at Temple Glantine. So there's a set of narrow gates here in front of me. Now today on this cycle, on this greenway, I won't be taking you in to see the attractions which dot the greenway from Rathkeale all the ways to Listowel. But there are many, and one is Askeaton Castle, which the site is really well worth a visit. It's a fortress, a friary and a den of iniquity, all in one place. Askeaton Castle dates from 1199, when William de Burgo built the medieval fortress on a rock in the River Deal. Also on the Greenway, you'll find Desmond Castle and Banqueting Hall in Newcastle West. If you are into castles, this is one that is truly worth a visit. This impressive fortress was built by the Fitzgerald family, better known as the Earls of Desmond, in the 12th century. The castle was lived in until the 1930s and withstood numerous sagas, sieges and bloody battles over the centuries. Then there is Knockpatrick Gardens, which is an award-winning 3-acre garden that enjoys a wonderful location overlooking the scenic Shannon Estuary in West Limerick. There is also Boyce Gardens in Foynes. Also located in Foynes, this award-winning garden, 1 acre in size, overlooks the River Shannon. Designed for year-round colour, it is divided into a number of intimate garden rooms interlinked by curved paths. Also worth noting in your travels along this area is the Irish Palatine Heritage Centre in Rathkeale. The Irish Palatine Centre presents the story of the Irish Palatine experience, ranging from their German places of origin to their settlement in Ireland, and their subsequent scattering all over the English-speaking world. We're now entering Tullig Wood. Nestled along the route from Barna to Listowel on the Limerick Greenway, Tullig Wood offers a serene escape into nature. This charming woodland is adorned with native elm and oak trees, creating a picturesque setting that captivates visitors year-round. Particularly stunning in autumn, the vibrant colours enhance its beauty, making it an ideal spot for leisurely walks, invigorating cycles and refreshing runs. Not only is Tullig Wood one of the most soul-feeding attractions in Limerick, it also plays a vital role in maintaining the natural heritage of the county. Here on the Limerick Greenway and Tullig Wood, it's a picturesque destination for tourists, offering stunning landscapes, vibrant flora, and a tranquil environment ideal for outdoor activities. So whether you're walking or cycling or simply enjoying the scenery, this location is a must visit for nature lovers and adventure seekers alike.
Never
As we arrive at Devon Road Station here outside Templeglantine in County Limerick, it was opened in 1880 as part of the Limerick to Tralee railway line expansion. It served as a vital agricultural hub for the local creamery and a necessary stop for steam trains navigating the steep terrain of Slieve Lucra, closing to passengers in 1963. Devon Road Station, located between Newcastle West and Abbeyfield near Templeglantine, served as a boundary stop between Limerick and Cork Kerry. The purpose of Devon Road Station was central to the local dairy industry, facilitating the transport of goods from a nearby creamery. Devon Road was a crucial, heavily used stop on the Limerick to Tralee line, which was a significant route for both freight and passengers. Opened in 1880, the station operated until the line closed to passengers in 1963, with freight services ceasing by the late 1970s. Devon Road Station is often highlighted for its role in the industrial heritage of the area, providing crucial infrastructure for farmers and traders in the region until its closure, as outlined on limerick.ie. Saturday, February the 4th, was the 60th anniversary of the last regular passenger train to travel from Limerick to Tralee. The four small stations of Kilmorna, Devon Road, Barna and Arda closed permanently that evening in February the 2nd, 1963. The four larger stations survived for freight and occasional passenger trains until Abbeyfield, Newcastle West and Rathkeale closed in 1975 and Listowel in 1977. The arrival of the railway must have been a very exciting time in Ireland, and Limerick City was connected to the system in 1848. It brought places closer together and made travel easier and more comfortable for people. Limerick to Tralee, our local train, was connected in 3 stages from 1858 to 1880. At its peak, 4 passenger trains and 1 goods train operated daily from and back to Limerick. It was a hive of activity with goods and passengers being carried in large numbers from Limerick onto Tralee. All the goods and merchandise for the shops and the farming community came by rail. The business provided employment at the smaller stations along the route, as goods had to be loaded and unloaded. The postal service also came this way, bringing welcome news, parcels and money from abroad. The movement of cattle and livestock by rail was huge, and it brought additional buyers to the fairs. The August Fair in Newcastle West in 1916 saw over 90 wagons of cattle and sheep transported from the town to locations around the country. The sights and sounds from those far-off days are just a distant memory now for the elder generation. The train took huge numbers of people from their home place to foreign destinations during the history of the railway age. It was a mixture of sad and joyful occasions, and many never returned to their native place. People were lost in wars and died in accidents, and some decided to settle elsewhere. This brings to mind the song The Vales of New Direen, which has been made famous by Donny Lyons from Drumreask in Glynn. The song tells of a romance between a labourer and a farmer's daughter in Athea, and it has a sad ending. The farm labourer was John Downey, and the farmer with whom he worked had an only daughter. By all accounts, she was a beautiful girl. Her father would not hear of a marriage between the pair, who was deeply in love. He forced her to emigrate, and John Downey followed her. When he traced her, she was dead. He pined away and died of a broken heart. The shrill sound of the whistle to a station was also greeted with jubilation as returning people stepped off the platform. They included those returning after many years working abroad and long-forgotten relatives. The joy on people's faces often had to be seen to be believed, and all due to the train and the smoke along the track. The Limerick to Tralee route included the following stops: Patrickswell, Kilgobbin, Adair, Ballingrain, Rathkeil, Arda, Newcastle West, Barna, Devon Road, Abbeyfeale, Kilmorna, Listowel, Lixnaw, Abbeydourney and Arpfurt. In 1937, a first-class ticket from Limerick to Abbeyfeale would have cost you 7 shillings and 9 pence, with a return ticket costing 13 shillings and 7 pence. A third-class ticket for the same journey cost 5 shillings and 2 pence, with a return ticket costing 9 shillings and 1 penny. Now we've just passed through the townland of Abbeyfeale, and the next stop should be Listowel in County Kerry. As I cycle along here now in West County Limerick on the Greenway, the Limerick to Kerry Greenway, along the former railway line that was open in the 1800s, I can't help but think about the amount of people that would have travelled on those trains heading for ships and boats to take them to lands far and far away to provide a better opportunity in their lives. The amount of people that would have travelled along in the carriages along this railway track in those days in the 1800s, and here we are today on 2 mountain bikes cycling the same route, but not heading for a boat to go to far distant lands to get a better opportunity in life. I did it years ago when I went on down to Australia, and I never regretted that move. I think it made a man out of me, to be quite honest. It provided me with good opportunities for my wife and my 2 kids at the time. So as I cycle along here, I think about the people that went before me on this very track through the rural heartlands of West Limerick. Today it's a track for enjoyment. In those days it was a track to take people to a better life, to escape hardship and terror and unemployment, bid farewell to their families and head to far-flung lands around the globe. The railway aid started to decline following the emergency of 1939 to 1945, and operations began to be scaled down. The prospects for the future became bleak, and in 1963 passenger service were withdrawn, apart from the occasional special. CIE withdrew passenger services from Limerick to Foynes and Tralee, with the last train running on February the 2nd, 1963. I know I've said this to you many times before, when I've been out cycling the Greenways and on two wheels. The great danger at the moment of people listening to Bluetooth headset in the company of a dog, usually big, on four legs, with a retractable lead that reaches from here to hell and back, and they're not aware and totally oblivious to somebody coming along on a bike. Ringing the bell is a total waste of space and time, and it's the biggest danger at the moment on these greenways. So you have to be alert at all times to walkers and their dogs.
Nothing really matters if you're not mine, right here, right now. And even if the world ends, then I'll be fine, no fear, no doubt. I know a place that sneak away, leave the pain, I'll stay with you. Let me hold you, close your eyes, we'll be reaching paradise. Ooh, 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 ooh. I don't even really know your name, but
I've arrived here in Listowel in County Kerry, having began my cycle at Rathkeel in County Limerick.
still high on the love that making me feel alright. Yeah, I'm still high on the love that making me feel alright. I don't even really know your name, but I'm still high on the love that making me feel alright. Heavy like a feather, you mend my heart right here, right now. I didn't even notice your medicine, no fear, no doubt. I know a place that sneak away, leave the pain, I'll stay with you.
We're now departing Listowel in the Kingdom of Kerry, having arrived there over an hour ago, had some lunch and a Guinness, all gratefully received and went down well. The sun now continues to shine as we make our way from Listowel to Rathkeel, a sizable journey ahead of us now. But the pedal is to the metal, literally, and we're ready for road. A lot of people out walking the Greenway today, enjoying the beautiful weather. It's a really, really lovely day. The sun has returned. In our absence at the little pub, it returned. So we got the benefit of sunshine on our return journey from Listowel to Rathkeel. By the mid-20th century, however, the Limerick to Tralee line began to face serious challenges. The rise of road transport after the 1940s, combined with Ireland's rural depopulation and economic shifts, eroded the line's profitability. Trucks and buses offered greater flexibility than railways, and Chorus Umper Éireann, CIE, the State Transport Authority, formed in 1945, sought to rationalise the rail network by closing loss-making routes. Passenger services on the Limerick to Tralee line were withdrawn on the 4th of February 1963, marking the end of an era for many rural communities. Freight operations lingered for another 15 years, mainly serving local industries and agricultural traffic, but these too declined as road haulage took over. The final freight train ran on 6th of February 1978, after which the line was officially closed and much of the track was lifted. Well, folks, we're still in County Kerry, but heading at a ferocious rate to the Limerick border before the militia catch up with us. Looking around me here, to my left, to my right, and to my front, the countryside around here, the land is not very good, to be quite honest. Very boggy, rather marshy, but it's lovely country to cycle through on a greenway like this. Today, well, my day today would have been full of activity and adventure since early this morning. So by the time I get to my chariot, my car, our car rather, before I'm in trouble, we'll have done some considerable cycling, coupled with early morning walking. So hopefully it'll all stand good to me in my later years. Keeping my fingers and my toes crossed as I say that to you all. It's rather cloudy now again, but cycling at this pace is really nice. Really nice to be out and about. This is what life is all about. We were put here to enjoy, do the best, fill our days with productivity, leisure, and feel good as a result. So I'm endeavouring to do that as best I can, and today I think I have really made a difference. Today the trail is part of Ireland's expanding Greenway network and serves as a living monument to the country's railway heritage. Original station buildings, bridges and cuttings can still be seen along the route, while the Lartigue Monorail Museum in Listowel preserves the memory of the region's distinctive railway past and is certainly well worth a visit. The section of Greenway between Listowel and Tralee has not yet been opened for cyclists. Apparently, the route was not conserved, and a public consultation is being held at present to select a preferred route. It is hoped that the route will be open in late 2026. When built, it will connect with the Tralee to Phoenix Greenway. Did you know that Limerick gives its name to the Limerick, a popular 5-line humorous poem thought to be derived from the 18th century Maig poets of Croom, County Limerick. Limerick Greenway is bursting with historical sites and landmarks to explore. In Rathkeil, you can visit the Irish Palatine Heritage Centre, while in Ardagh, you'll find the old station house, located close to where the iconic Ardagh Chalice was found in 1868. If you wish, you could stop off and make a wish at the famous St. Kieran's Holy Well, often referred to as the cultural hub of West Limerick. Newcastle West offers a range of historical monuments of interest. Visitors can learn all about the local history of the area and of course visit Desmond Castle. This castle and banqueting hall in the centre of Newcastle West is the town's obvious historical landmark and a must-see for any visitor. But there are also many other wonderful places of historical significance worth checking out. So, immerse yourself in the history connected to the Limerick Greenway. It's a cultural experience open to everyone, with a range of family-friendly activities to keep the fun going. As part of a larger plan to extend its existing greenways, Kerry is currently developing the 27-kilometre South Kerry Greenway, which will run from Glen Bay over Kells Bay to the town of Cahersiveen. This ambitious project will face technical and engineering challenges and will be completed in phases. The South Kerry Greenway exemplifies the country's commitment to sustainable development and green infrastructure. The planning process involved meticulous consideration of environmental impact, cultural preservation, and community well-being. As the Greenway unfolds, it is expected to become a magnet for adventure seekers, history enthusiasts, and those seeking a tranquil escape along the rugged Kerry coastline. The journey towards a greener Kerry has not been without its challenges. The development of greenways often requires navigating complex terrain, securing funding, and addressing concerns from local communities. However, each challenge has been met with resilience and innovative solutions. In the heart of County Kerry, greenways have become more than just pathways. They are symbols of sustainable progress, community resilience, and a harmonious relationship with nature. As residents and visitors traverse these green routes, they are not merely exploring the landscape. They are partaking in the ongoing narrative of Kerry's commitment to environmental stewardship. The greenways are bridges, not just connecting destinations, but linking the past, present, and future of this enchanting corner of Ireland. We're now here in very lonely countryside. Cyclists and walkers are far and few between, but we keep on pushing towards Rathkeil, which is quite a distance still away from us, but the sun continues to shine. Now folks, it's rather late in the afternoon stroke evening, and we're still on the two wheels. So quite a distance to travel, quite a distance rather we've traveled today. So there we are folks, another big long day in the saddle. Many kilometers, many kilometers, but all in gorgeous weather. So until the next journey, take care, bye bye.